The classic number 10, the game's main character. This is the original attacking midfielder, the pure number 10, the guy who plays like the ball owes him money. He lives between the lines, in that little pocket where defenders can't touch him without starting a war. He doesn't run into space. Space appears around him like it's scripted. Think Zidane, Riquelme, or prime Totti. One touch, one swivel, one pass, and suddenly the whole defense looks like it's buffering. It works because it turns football into a chess match where everyone else is playing checkers. But the danger is obvious. If you kill his space, you kill the entire team. And modern pressing doesn't respect artists, it hunts them. And if you think this role is dying, wait until you meet the version that survived by becoming even lazier. The trequartista, luxury player with diplomatic immunity. The trequartista isn't a number 10. He's a number 10 who negotiated a contract clause that says, I don't track back. This guy floats, he strolls, he watches the game like he's reviewing it for a magazine, and then he produces one pass that makes everyone forget he's been walking for 20 minutes. Del Piero, Kaká, Ozil, on his best days. This is football's most dangerous free spirit. The trequartista doesn't create by running, he creates by waiting. It works because defenders hate uncertainty, they want patterns, they want rules, and the trequartista plays like rules are for other people. But the dark side, if the team can't carry him defensively, you're basically playing with 10 men. One bad day and your artist becomes a spectator with expensive boots. And now, let's talk about the attacking midfielder who doesn't float. He attacks like a police raid. The shadow striker, the midfielder who smells blood. This is the attacking midfielder who doesn't want to assist. He wants to score. He wants to arrive late. He wants to ruin your night. The shadow striker starts behind the striker, then crashes into the box like a horror movie jump scare. Defenders track the forward, the winger, the overlap, and then boom, the midfielder is tapping in at the back post. Frank Lampard made a career out of this. So did Dele Alli at his peak. So did Thomas Muller, except Muller is a different species entirely. It works because it turns the box into a trap. Center backs are watching the striker. Fullbacks are panicking about wide runs. And the shadow striker is invisible until it's too late. The downside, if he doesn't time it perfectly, he becomes a ghost. Not in a cool way, in a where is our midfield way. Because when he goes forward, someone has to cover the space he abandoned. And speaking of Muller, let's talk about the role that sounds fake, looks awkward, and still wins everything. The Raumdeuter, the space thief. Leave it to Germany to invent a word for a player who doesn't make sense. Raumdeuter means interpreter of space, but it really means professional sneak. He doesn't dribble like Neymar, he doesn't pass like De Bruyne, he doesn't run like Mbappe. He just appears in the exact spot you forgot to defend, and then scores. Thomas Muller is the king of this. He plays like a man who's always slightly lost, but somehow always arrives at the perfect moment. He's not beating you physically, he's beating you mentally. It works because football isn't about running the most, it's about running at the right time. The Raumdeuter turns space into a weapon and defenders into victims. The danger? If the game is slow and compact, he can look useless, because this role feeds on chaos. No chaos, no feast. And if you want a midfielder who creates chaos on purpose, meet the one who plays like a quarterback with anger issues. The advanced playmaker, the passing dictator. This is the attacking midfielder who doesn't just create chances, he creates control. The advanced playmaker gets the ball and immediately starts pulling strings like the match is his puppet show. He doesn't need 10 touches, but he'll take them if you let him. He'll drag defenders out, switch play, thread needles, and make your defensive structure look like it was drawn in pencil. Think De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes on his best days, or prime David Silva. This isn't vibes, this is production. It works because every attack becomes organized violence. The playmaker doesn't guess, he chooses. And if you give him time, he will pick you apart like a surgeon. But the dark side is simple. Press him hard enough and he turns into a frustrated long shot merchant. Because when you remove his time, you remove his power. And now for the attacking midfielder who doesn't want time, he wants speed, pure speed. The transition monster, the counterattack controller. Some attacking midfielders want possession. This one wants open grass and panic. The transition monster lives for the moment your team loses the ball. Because the second possession flips, he becomes the most dangerous player on the pitch. One carry, one pass, one sprint through midfield, and suddenly your defense is retreating like it just saw a ghost. Think prime Kaka, prime Gerrard in advanced roles, or modern players like Bellingham bursting forward. They don't build attacks slowly, they detonate them. It works because counterattacks are football's most unfair mechanic. Defenders are facing the wrong way, midfielders are out of position, and the transition midfielder is charging straight through the middle like a runaway train. The downside? Against deep blocks, he can look locked in a cage. No space to run, no chaos to exploit, no highlight reel. And if you want someone who thrives even against deep blocks, you need the guy who plays in the most annoying area on the pitch. The half-space operator, the tactical cheat code. This is the modern attacking midfielder built in a laboratory. Not a romantic, not a free spirit, a weapon. He doesn't stay central like a classic 10. He doesn't hug the wing either. He lives in the half space, that little corridor between full back and center back where defending becomes a nightmare. Think Bernardo Silva drifting inside, David Silva in his City era, or even Griezmann when he plays as a connector. The half-space operator receives on the turn, combines quickly, and creates triangles that suffocate opponents. It works because you can't mark him cleanly. If a midfielder follows, the midfield opens. If a defender steps out, the backline breaks. If nobody steps out, he turns and cooks. But the dark side is that it's system dependent. If the structure collapses, he loses his platform, and without the platform, he's just a guy standing in traffic. And now we go from chess to street fighting, because the next one creates chances by refusing to stop running. The pressing 10, the attacking midfielder who defends like a maniac. Some number 10s glide, this one hunts. The pressing 10 is the attacking midfielder who treats defending like it's personal. He triggers the press, chases center backs, blocks passing lanes, forces turnovers, and then instantly turns those turnovers into shots. Think peak Thomas Muller again. Peak Firmino as a false 9 connector, or modern chaos merchants like Szoboszlai playing advanced. These players don't wait for the ball, they steal it. It works because winning the ball high is basically cheating. You don't need to break down a defense if you win possession 5 meters from their goal. Suddenly, the hardest part of football becomes easy. The danger? If the press fails, you're exposed. Because a pressing 10 who misses his trigger doesn't just lose a duel, he opens a highway through midfield. And if you think that's intense, the next role is even worse because it combines pressing with pure aggression on the ball. The dribbling 10, the human glitch. This is the attacking midfielder who doesn't need combinations. He is the combination. The dribbling 10 gets the ball in tight spaces and treats defenders like cones. He slaloms through bodies, absorbs contact, keeps the ball glued to his feet, and turns impossible situations into a shot on goal. Think Messi when he played centrally, Hazard in his best moments, or modern creators like Musiala and Wirtz operating between lines. They don't just beat players, they collapse entire defensive structures. It works because dribbling breaks systems faster than passing. Passing moves the ball, dribbling moves the defense, and when the defense moves, gaps appear everywhere. The downside is obvious. If he's double teamed and isolated, he gets kicked into silence. And if the referee lets it happen, your superstar becomes a victim. And now for the most misunderstood type of attacking midfielder, the one people call invisible until they win the game. The connector, the link that makes everything work. This attacking midfielder doesn't always get the assist. He gets the pre-assist, the pass before the pass, the movement before the movement. He drops into midfield to help build, then pops up between the lines, then drifts wide to overload, then arrives late for the cutback. He's basically a human Wi-Fi signal connecting every part of the team. Think Griezmann again, prime Iniesta in advanced roles, or even modern creators like Foden when he plays inside. The connector makes everyone else better, even when he isn't on the score sheet. It works because football isn't just about the final pass, it's about flow. And the connector controls flow like a DJ controlling a club. The danger is that casual fans don't notice him. And when a player isn't noticed, coaches sometimes remove him, and then the whole team suddenly can't breathe. And finally, the most chaotic one of all, the attacking midfielder who plays like football is a personal experiment. The free roamer, the tactical problem nobody solves. This is the attacking midfielder with no address, no fixed zone, no predictable movement, no mercy. He drifts left, drifts right, drops deep, pushes high, appears on the wing, shows up in the box, and makes defenders constantly ask who is marking him. And the answer is usually nobody. Think prime Messi in his roaming creator phases, Neymar when he's feeling irresponsible, or classic geniuses like Maradona who treated formations like suggestions. It works because marking is built on logic, and the free roamer is built on chaos. But the dark side, if the team doesn't rotate around him, you lose shape, you lose balance, you lose control, because freedom is expensive. Somebody always pays for it. So yeah, the attacking midfielder isn't one position, it's an entire ecosystem of football personalities. Some are artists, some are machines, some are thieves, some are glitches. And the scariest part is this. No matter how modern football gets, it will always need one player in the middle who can do something that doesn't make sense. Because when the game becomes predictable, the attacking midfielder is the one who breaks it.